What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Honest and Uneducated, the show where we talk about anything from movies, movie news, comic books, statues, etc. We got a good show for you planned here today, but before we get into it, just want to cover some things right off the top. Do not forget that you can submit topics and questions just by emailing us at honestanduneducated@gmail.com. That's honestanduneducated@gmail.com. And then another thing off the top, real quick, Rick and I recently did a statue review of a Vegeta piece right here. It's from KD Collectibles. Go check that out on the channel. I'm sorry, it's a very amazingly detailed, very great piece, and we had a lot of fun doing that. So that's up on the channel. Go check it out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. Let us know what kind of content you want us to keep doing. We want to do more statue reviews, much like this one. They take a little bit more production than just, coming on and doing the show, just the regular show and everything. So if you're liking the statue reviews, just drop comments and likes, let us know. Otherwise, though, joining me today is none other than Rick Metz. How are you doing today, Rick?
I'm doing good, man. A little hot, but how are you?
Oh, dude, it's absolutely miserable outside. Like I had to do a bunch of yard work, and I had to change my
Same.
clothes like 3 times. I felt like
Yeah.
it was terrible. But another thing that I think honestly is going to be terrible to segue to it is not to kind of talk down on anything, but the Comic-Con virtual event. All right, it was just announced that Disney is going to be joining the Comic-Con at Home lineup, and we kind of touched upon this. What was it, like last week or the week before, when we were talking about the DC fandom event? I kind of brought up, like, what is Comic-Con's virtual event even going to be? If DC is going to be doing their own thing, like, are they even going to be a part of the Comic-Con virtual event? There's really not a whole lot going on that like Marvel could even show at Comic-Con. So even if it wasn't going to be a virtual event, I don't even really know, just kind of because of the climate, what any of these studios could really even show. And I mean, if you're not going to have the big studios there as a part of Comic Con, showing trailers or having the panels and everything, without actually being able to be at Comic Con and on the floor, kind of living it up and doing the Comic Con experience, looking at all the shops and everything, like what is even going to be the point at this point? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
I'm glad that they're doing the event. I think it's a good move that Comic-Con decided to do the virtual event as opposed to do nothing. But like I said, with the announcement of DC fandom, I just don't even know what else they're going to. Not that DC is the only thing that's going to be there, but I haven't heard anybody else or any other news come in really until this news that Disney Plus is bringing some of their stuff to it. And kind of to touch back on that, the reason I said it was going to be kind of crappy, I think, is because they're not bringing anything that I find to be very interesting or compelling at all. Like
Yeah.
it's some Marvel 616 thing, something called The Right Stuff, and then a Phineas and Ferb movie. And I mean, right away, the Phineas and Ferb and The Right Stuff thing seems much more in line with just a Disney oriented thing. So something that would like likely be shown at D23 would make sense to be shown at D23.
Yeah.
I don't really know if the audience is going to really be there at Comic Con or a virtual Comic Con event that would really be interested in it. I might be wrong, but at least coming from me, I don't really know if I find this very compelling. Like at first, when I first saw this article, I thought I misread it, and I was more excited about it to some degree because I thought it said Disney was doing their own virtual event,
Yeah.
which would have made more sense because they can't do D23 now, and yada yada yada. So I don't know, that made sense. But then when I actually read the whole article and everything, obviously found out I was just going to be a part of the Comic Con at Home event, and it's just like nothing really too compelling. So like again, what are they even going to have at this Comic Con virtual event? Like, would it be something you'd even be interested in like viewing at this point in time, Rick?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know. Everybody's going to these virtual events, and it's kind of like we touched up on, like with the Star Wars thing. It's just like, what are you actually going to really cover? What's going to be there? But the thing that I think this is all missing, obviously, with the whole COVID thing going on, is there's just not that interaction. Like people don't go to Comic Con just for the panels and that sort of stuff. They go because of like exclusive items that are available, cosplaying, there's so much more to it, and you take, like, most of that out of the equation, so,
Right.
mm,
That's the thing, and that's kinda where I was like, again, not trying to dog on the Comic-Con virtual event by any means, but it just doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like it's gonna be a very compelling thing, like,
yeah.
it's sad to say.
Well, it's gonna be harder to keep your attention when it's all virtual as well, and,
Right, and that's the thing, like, with it being virtual, you kinda have to have the big studios there with, like, some content to show,
yeah,
'cause elsewise, what are they really gonna show? And, like,
exactly.
because again, the things that Disney's bringing to the Comic-Con virtual event here, like, I wouldn't if I was actually attending Comic-Con, I would not be looking at these panels.
No,
Like, it wouldn't
no.
be anything I would actually be interested in.
Yeah,
And I feel like most people who go to Comic-Con, they're there for I mean, maybe the Marvel 616 oh my god, 616 thing would be good, um, but I don't know that it's not like something that would sell out Hall H either,
no.
not sell out, but fill up, and, I don't know,
What
it's kinda disappointing.
what is the Marvel 616?
It says it explores Marvel's legacy of stories, characters, and creators. It's a each documentary in the series is directed by a different filmmaker.
It's interesting.
So there's not a whole lot of information. It's just going to be exploring just some stuff in the Marvel 616, part of the comics. I'm guessing more than
Yeah,
anything, which, like, again, could be interesting, but is it worth having like its own panel for? And like,
yeah.
it almost just feels like almost like a cop out kind of thing that they're not in a negative way, but just like they can't do their own event. They don't even have enough things to show on their own
So they're
event.
just kind of
Yeah, so it's like, well, we can just do this and it'll like be something that the Comic Con people can use because they're the ones that are hurting bad because Comic Con had to be canceled.
yeah,
Which so I mean, it's definitely good that Disney gave them something to do and actually wanted to be a part of it in some way. I just think it's disappointing with like that's like kind of like that's it. Like, it just
yeah,
doesn't seem like much. Not on like a fault on Disney's side, but just for like Comic Con in general. Like I'm sure they need something big to get people to be interested in their virtual event.
yeah.
And
There's nothing that's that big.
yeah, and that's the problem is like because of the shutdowns, even if all the big studios could like be a part of it and DC wasn't doing their own thing and whatever, they haven't been able to been like working for the past couple months. So like I don't really know what they no one has any content to show really unless it was stuff they were working on pre COVID lockdown.
Yeah, yeah,
And like we said with the Batman thing, they'd only been filming for like a month or so. So even come DC fandom, what are they gonna have to show of like the Batman? Because they really haven't been able to film all that much as it is. And I feel like it's the same thing with if every studio was gonna be at this Comic Con thing,
yeah.
no one's really gonna have much to show.
No.
Like it's and that's just kind of like the sad reality I feel like here, which again just hurts Comic Con more so than anything. Because like they need to put on a good show. They need people to maintain their interest. And in the end, it's not gonna really hurt Comic Con. Like come next year, assuming everything's back to normal to some capacity. I mean, like Comic Con theoretically will just be as popular as ever. It's not really gonna hurt anything, I wouldn't imagine,
Yeah,
unless like the DC fandom thing. Like, if they start doing their own thing now, and they do the virtual event, like, themselves every year and don't take anything to Comic-Con, and other studios start thinking and doing the same exact things, just not make the effort to actually go to Comic-Con.
yeah.
So, I mean, that could hurt it, but that's all this hearsay and speculation, but I don't know. Hopefully, this is good. Hopefully maybe they can bring some more stuff to it too. So, I don't know, but, hmm,
I don't know, I feel like with Comic-Con too, usually there's always something huge being talked about or released, obviously not in like a quarantine or COVID sort of situation, but there's just not a whole lot of things to look forward to, I guess is the best way to put it.
no, and that's the thing, not to say that there's not going to be at all, but,
No,
like, when
no.
when DC announced the Fandom event, I was excited for it. It sounded good. Like, all the things that they said they were gonna be bringing to it sounded good. They had a
Yeah,
lot of stuff that surprisingly, like, they have a lot of stuff they can show to some capacity. They kinda lucked out that, like, Wonder Woman's, like, in the can, so they can show pretty much anything they want from that. they can tease about anything they want in production wise, but that's one studio having their own thing. So they obviously can do kind of whatever they want. And that's kind of the beauty of it. Whereas like half this, and which is also a good thing to some capacity too, because there's likely going to be a lot of things that they're showing at this fandom event that they wouldn't bring to Comic Con because it's just kind of like this stuff here that Disney's bringing.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't think that this is actually if they were going to be at San Diego Comic Con. I don't think like Marvel or Disney in general would be leading off with any of this stuff.
Yeah.
They're dumping it on the virtual event, but they're not going to be dumping it like in like I said, like Hall H or anything.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a good thing with the virtual events in general, I guess, is that it's gonna be able to shed some light on some, I don't know, lesser known material. Not that like Phineas and Ferb or Marvel's lesser known, but like none of these big budget things that normally would not get any attention to this capacity are actually gonna be able to get a lot of attention on it now. So that's kind of a good thing, I would say.
Yeah. I
But
mean, the Phineas and Ferb thing does sound pretty exciting.
I mean,
I'm a big fan. Just kidding.
yeah, I'm not, so I can't even I can't even really fake that. Like I never had any
Yeah.
interest in that. So but anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think this is kind of like disappointing? Do you think this is, a good move? Because I do think it's a good move. Like, I think it's good that Disney's doing something with the Comic Con thing, but I can't help but think it's kind of like, that's it? Like, that's all we're going to do?
That's it.
So, I don't know. Whatever you guys think, just let us know in the comment section below. All right, Rick. So our next topic today is going to bring us into the world of NBC Universal and their Peacock streaming service, which still to this day is the worst name for a streaming service, really, let alone anything other than the animal. It's a terrible name.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why they need to change that name. They could just call it NBC's streaming service, or I don't know why they just don't call it NBC Universal Streaming at that point.
Yeah.
It's
Peacock.
Peacock is a terrible name for it. But that aside, the point of the rant here is that they recently acquired some streaming rights to some CBS properties of some Viacom CBS properties, things like Godfather, a popular TV show, Ray Donovan, which I never really watched, but I know is very popular, and then Charmed. And I mean, it goes on to there's like other stuff here too, and I'll just name these couple ones because, like, again, these actually are some like kind of big titles to some capacity, like Catch Me If You Can, The Town of Mr. Ripley, American Beauty, Patriot Games, Fatal Attraction. Like they're getting some good stuff for this deal, and this deal is going to be up until 2023, some sort of limited exclusivity streaming deal for these Viacom CBS properties on NBC Universal. And Rick, I bring this up because let me ask you, when just off the top of your head, because you're not like the biggest of biggest TV and movie fans. Like you don't go and see every single movie that comes out.
Very true.
And I don't see every single movie by any means either. But if I say that NBC Universal is going to have their own streaming service, can you name an NBC or Universal property just off the top of your head that you'd be excited to watch on it?
The only thing I can think of is like Universal Studios and like the movies that are associated with that. Um, which it's honestly going to be some pretty stupid stuff, like older movies like E.T., Jaws, that sort of stuff. But I can't really think of
That
anything
stuff's not
else.
stupid though; those are classics.
Oh no, yeah. I mean,
Those are
like
classics,
I, I would do it for that, for the nostalgia, part of it. But
right?
there's
That's the
not really
thing.
much else.
Right, and that's kind of my thing with it is this. I feel like this is a good move for Peacock.
Peacock.
A better move would be changing the name.
Yeah,
But
yeah, definitely.
it's a good move for Peacock because, like, realistically speaking, outside of those big movies, like you mentioned, another one's like the Jurassic Park franchise and like the Fast and Furious franchise. That's kind of the big things that Universal anymore is even known for. Like their Universal monster movies thing just kind of died off. They tried to make that monsters universe, a dark universe with Tom Cruise as a mummy, and nothing came out of that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, they got all the classic like monster stuff they can do too. But I mean, outside of those core things, I mean, I'm having trouble even thinking of like some NBC Universal TV shows I would really even be like interested in watching. The good thing is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Peacock is supposed to be, they initially at least said it was going to be free but supported by ads.
That's
So,
not too bad.
yeah, I mean, that's a more compelling avenue I feel like they should do with obviously they're lacking in some sort of content that they actually have the ability to put on their Peacock streaming service if they're going out of their way to license a lot of this material from like other companies.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I think it's a good move for them because again, I don't even know what I would care about watching, and it's like, without doing research, I know, like, NBC, like, as far as the channel, like, on network television, they've had a lot of good stuff over many, many, many years.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, if assuming all of those shows aren't tangled up in rights to other streaming services right now, like most of them are, because I think even, like, The Office, I think that's an NBC property, so once
Yeah.
that's what everybody kept saying once Peacock comes out, like, Netflix is gonna lose The Office,
The
which
Office
is
is actually coming off of Netflix in exactly 6 months as of yesterday, I
well,
believe.
there you go.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because it's gonna be here. Like, they're not
Yeah.
gonna license that sort of stuff out anymore. So, that's kinda what it comes down to as far as them building up their library is they can put a lot of stuff on there, assuming it's not caught up in other licensing deals right now.
Yeah.
And clearly, the interesting thing, I guess, about that you could kind of assume is that they must have a lot of their stuff, like, kinda not ready to go on Peacock, due to licensing stuff more than anything, I would assume. Elsewise, I wouldn't really see a need for them to buy some Viacom and CBS properties like this,
Yeah.
you know? Which
Yeah.
is, I mean, unfortunate, but because kinda like HBO Max, they had, like, all their like, a bunch of their DC movies are coming off. They just launched, like, a month or so ago, but, like, I don't know, half of their, DC movies are gonna be pulled off of HBO Max, and that's just because they're caught up in licensing agreements elsewhere. So they only
Yeah.
had a select window they could actually have it on there for launch and then pull it off. So hopefully Peacock can learn from HBO Max and not do that because I feel like it's worse to advertise you have a lot of content and then you do at launch you have a decent amount of stuff like HBO Max did, only to a month into it say, well, half of this stuff's gone next month, so watch it quick. Like, watch
Yeah.
it real quick. Like, that's far worse.
Get your fix of it, and yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, another thing that we'll get into here in just a minute after this is, like, Apple with Apple Plus, they don't have they have a very limited amount of, like, original content and stuff available on there. Like, Apple just got into the entertainment business,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so they obviously don't have a back catalog of stuff like
No, yeah, not at
NBC
all.
does and, whatever. So, like, they have, like, I don't know, 5 shows, we'll say 10 shows, and, like, a couple movies here and there, but, that stuff's there to stay forever.
Yeah.
It's not something that ends up gonna be, leaving soon or
Yeah, it's
whatever.
not cut up in the same licensing rights or any of
Yeah.
that sort of stuff.
So that's like that's the kind of step I hope Peacock take which it seems like they're taking with it, is that they're not I hope they don't launch with a bunch of stuff that they know they can't keep because of that. And, like, 'cause I feel like it worked out well for Apple's. I feel like everyone's sleeping on Apple, which we'll get to in just a second, but I don't know. It's a good thing for Peacock. Need to change their name.
Every time you say it, it's just like,
Dude, I don't ever wanna sit here and be like, "Dude, let's watch some
Peacock.
Peacock, dude.
Watching some
Some
Peacock.
Peacock." Nah.
Watching the cock.
Yeah, watch the cat.
Sorry.
It's a terrible name, man.
Yeah,
They
it really
really
is.
I think it's too late for him. I've already seen commercials. I've seen commercials already with him advertising with a Peacock name, so I know they're not gonna change it, but
They say it
man
with a straight face.
okay, Peacock.
Peacock.
It's terrible, dude.
It really is.
Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think this is a good move, and do you hope that kind of where I'm coming from, that, like, Peacock doesn't make the same mistakes that HBO Max makes, and they just, advertise they have a ton of properties and then pull them off because they have licensing deals, which it seems like them acquiring some long-term stuff here in 2023. That's a long time. So them acquiring this, I feel like, is a good move, and it helps build their launch library, and is much better than them, you know, doing the HBO Max thing and then in a couple months losing your own properties due to licensing agreements. So Whatever it is whatever you guys think, just let us know down in the comment section below. All right, Rick. So like I said, our next topic here is going to be about how I feel like people are sleeping on Apple Plus. All right. Now let me break it down for you first, and then I want to get your thoughts on it. And I'm going to explain why I think people are sleeping on it, dude. First off, I don't know anybody, including you. We had a conversation off camera here where like you not never heard of it, but you had no idea what was even on Apple Plus because like no one talks about Apple Plus, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And my point here with this is the fact that I got an Apple Plus. I didn't buy it, and for one thing too, it is cheap. I will say it's like $5 or $6 a month if
No,
you
that's
just
not
buy it
bad at all.
outright. So it's not bad. They don't have a ton of content on there, but the content that's on there is actually really good.
I see what
So
you're saying.
yeah, I watched 3 series that are on a 3 full series. I watched Morning Show, a show called Servant with Toby Kebbell, and I forget the other actress's name that the lead on there, and then Defending Jacob with our boy Steve Rogers, Captain America himself, Chris
Oh, yeah.
Evans. And all 3 of those shows are very high quality productions. They were very good. Like they were enjoyable to watch. Like some better than others, but um, I don't know, they were just really good shows. And then what I think people are sleeping on more so than anything, for one, is that obviously, like I said, those shows are really good. So go watch those shows, by the way, because a morning show has Steve Carell from The Office and Jennifer Aniston,
Oh,
obviously
yeah.
from Friends in it. So it was a really good show, and it was actually very relevant to today's stuff because, like, I don't know if they planned this by any means, and this might turn some people off, but it's not like a huge central point of the show. There's just something that affects a character on it that has to do with like the Me Too movement kind of thing,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
that kind of stuff. So it came out at a good time, I feel like,
Oh,
but
for sure, yeah.
because it was very relevant.
Yeah.
But another thing that Apple did very recently was our boy Marty Scorsese was trying to make a period drama. I forget what it's called, but with Leonardo DiCaprio. Uh, Paramount owns the licensing to this movie as being the producer and distributor of the film.
Yeah.
But our boy Marty went up
Marty.
to
Old Marty.
Old Marty went to the boys at Paramount and said he needed $200 million to do this period piece drama, like not an action, big Marvel comic book, crazy CGI, none of that shit. He wanted $200 million to do a period piece drama movie.
That's insane.
And Paramount said, "Fuck you, dude, no." Like in the nicest
happening.
way possible. You're one of the best directors in the world, but no. And they said, "You can go shop it around and see if you can find anybody who's willing to pay that." Like they let themselves like released the production deal part of like they still own the rights to the film and they're going to be the distributors of this film, but they don't want to pay for it.
No.
But you know who did?
Hmm.
Fucking Apple.
Man,
Apple was
there you go.
like,
We'll give you 200
"We'll
million.
give you
Sure.
200 mil. That's nothing.
Yeah.
That's literally let me find some shit in my couch cushions. There you go."
Yeah.
Because between Apple and Amazon, they could buy every movie studio 10 times over.
Oh,
Like
definitely.
they have an abundance of money. And Apple is making some big plays. Like getting a prestige movie from a prestige director like
Don't
Martin
sleep on Apple.
Scorsese. That's what I'm saying. Like, don't sleep on
Don't
it.
sleep on.
Now, the movie in general could suck, and like it's obviously
Yeah.
going to be, but as far as the money and production goes, it ain't meaning nothing to Apple. But what it does for them, they know they're going to lose money on it. They get a Martin Scorsese movie exclusively on their platform,
Yeah.
much like what Netflix did when nobody wanted to give Marty again like $200 million to make The Irishman. Netflix was like, well, we'll do it because they need their own original content on there, and having some like a piece of material from a director like Martin Scorsese.
Did you
really
see that,
helps
by the
out.
way?
I did.
It was long.
It was long. It didn't
Very
need to
long.
be that long. It
Yeah.
was good. Like I liked it. There were a lot of points in time though where like I could tell that everyone's being de-aged, and it wasn't like the CGI part bothered me. It was because
Yeah.
like Robert De Niro's body type didn't fit him being like a 30-year-old dude beating the shit out of people because
It was
like,
very strange.
yeah, I don't know. Regardless, though, when it comes down to Apple making these big plays, they're at it again here because Apple and Warner Brothers, they were getting up to $130 million bid on this Emancipation movie with Will Smith. Now, This was reported from Deadline as, like, there was a bidding war between the 2, but a little later, it came out and officially, like, Apple won it. So Apple forks over hundreds of millions again to get some exclusive content. And, apparently, like, everything that's been reported about this film that they're gonna be making is, like, supposed to be really good as far as, like, the script and everything goes. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
If you wanna look up more into the movie, just go in and look more of it up 'cause that's what I'm really just trying to talk about right now is just, like, I think everyone's sleeping on Apple. Like,
It sounds good. I
sleeping
mean,
on Apple. So, I mean, I'll watch anything Will Smith.
yeah.
So, I
Oh,
mean,
for sure.
that being said, I'm gonna watch this movie more than likely, especially if I still have Apple Plus at the time. So, why wouldn't I? But, another point here, Rick, that I have where people sleeping on Apple, it's not just me who knows Apple's putting out some good content, they're making some big plays because this guy, Chris Parnell, exits Sony Pictures to go and work as a senior TV programming executive for none other than Apple.
Apple. Yep.
So, the moral of the story here, guys, is obviously, again, don't sleep on Apple. Like, they're making some big moves, and I feel like in the next I don't know, man, in the next 5 years or so, easy, I think Apple's gonna be they're gonna be in a really good spot, especially since they're acquiring, like, just, like, talent. Like, this guy I don't know much about this dude, but it was someone who was a higher up at another actual fully fledged production company being Sony, coming over to be the TV programming executive for them. Again, they're just making some big plays here,
It's a pretty
and,
big
like,
deal. I mean,
it is, because I mean, Apple because it's more of a gamble for somebody like this gentleman to
Chris
leave
Burnett.
yeah, to leave, Sony Pictures, a very well-established and successful production company in
Yeah.
the entertainment business. He's gonna leave that to come pretty much work at a little startup, Apple Plus, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, obviously, it's Apple, so, I mean, I'm sure they're paying him well to come over and do this, but
Yeah.
it's just the kinda thing where I like, again, where it just kinda speaks volumes to the extent that Apple is going, like, just the money they're putting up, the talent they're acquiring, like, even as far as the content goes, like I said, like, they've got some big name people in all of these shows, like, even the 3 that I mentioned I watched, they were all very well made too, like, they were, like, high production value, all the acting was, like, really good in it. I'd highly recommend going and watching them all again. I was Defending Jacob, Servant, and, Morning Show, so go and watch
Yeah.
those, especially you, Rick.
How
They're good.
much? Yeah. Of course, me. How much is Apple? Like Apple Plus?
How much is Apple?
Not no. How much is the streaming service?
Oh, it's like $5.99 a month or something.
Oh
It's
yeah.
like $4.99. It's between 4 and $6. I forget what it is, but if you, like, recently buy they're doing a promotion right now, just kinda like what Disney Plus did with Verizon, recently, but if
Oh
you
yeah. That's how I watched The Mandalorian.
yeah, if you recently bought, like you didn't even have to buy anything. If you recently registered a Apple device under your email, they just sent you a free year sub to it.
Yeah.
So,
My girlfriend at the time had Verizon, and I mentioned that. That was like, dude, we can get Disney Plus, and next thing you know, we're watching The Mandalorian. That was pretty cool.
well, that's the kind of thing too. Kind of on topic with this and the Peacock thing with Disney Plus. They had nothing but Mandalorian that anybody cared about. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
they have a massive back catalog at the very least supporting, like, people coming back to some degree. It's great for children and everything.
Yeah. Definitely.
But, like, Apple here had to come out the gate with 0 content, essentially. Like, they had a couple shows, they had a couple movies, but when they came out, they went hard, dude. Like, they got some big names to come in and do these
That's.
shows with them.
I was just about to say that. I mean, even from like Steve Carell and whoever else you mentioned or whatever. But yeah.
Well, yeah, like, Jason Momoa is a star of a show called See on there, like
Yeah.
SEEC.
He's
Like,
huge.
but he was blowing up. They made some big plays right out the gate, like, and, like, but no one talks about it.
No.
Like, no one at all talks about them, and I find it kinda shocking to some degree just because, like I said, having watched, like, at least 3 of their full series on there and knowing how well they are, like, just production talent-wise and just they were good, but no one talks about it, but, like, obviously some people are noticing because this dude's coming over. Like, he's gonna come up so hopefully, I mean, this is a big move for them, and this dude knows what's up, and he's gonna make a maybe they'll make the marketing people, make some stuff happen because I
Yeah.
swear to God, I feel like no one knows about it.
No.
Because like, unless you use Apple devices, I'm sure you're getting constant ads all the time for their stuff.
I
But
actually haven't. I have a MacBook Pro and
yeah, but do you use, like, iTunes and stuff on a regular
no.
basis to where
I
yeah, that's what I'm saying, like,
yeah.
because if you use, like, the iTunes and go to the iTunes store or the App Store, I'm sure they're blasting their ads on there.
Yeah,
I use
no.
an Android, so, like, I don't have
That's
that
how I
on.
am too.
I have an iPad that literally has been dead for, like, 6 months now.
The
So that's
MacBook Pro is free.
yeah.
Usually I'd get something
Yeah,
else.
I ain't paying dude, there was a thing that came out, I don't know if this is real, but I saw this thing pop up on my phone where it was like a news alert thing, where it said Apple is considering selling the new iPhone without a charger. And, like,
What?
I didn't know if it was an Onion article or if it was real
Well, that's the thing
because,
with
like,
Apple, you can never tell,
it
like
seemed like something they would fucking do.
yeah,
So I was like,
Apple is
"Wow, dude."
I've just
Like,
never had much of a desire for any of their products.
no, me either, and,
No
like
hate,
yeah,
but
I don't know. And not to mention, dude, not to hate on Apple in any way, shape, or form by any means, but dude, I hate the way AirPods look.
I do too.
Dude, they look ridiculous. They look so stupid.
I have a pair of, like, Bose AirPods that just look like regular headphones.
I got little, like, little earbuds that go in my ear, they pop in, like, real good. They're
Yeah.
like Raycons, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Those are perfect. You don't even see them in your ear.
No, that's how mine are.
These AirPods, dude, they look
It's
like you
whack.
have, like, Q-tips hanging out of your ear. It looks ridiculous.
It's just everything not to keep hating on it or anything like that, but
No, no,
I've
not
always
you.
had Android, I've had one iPhone, and
Right.
it's just they're so expensive for what you get, like, and what you can do with
Well,
it,
dude,
and
anymore, yeah, and
I get
even
so
ev
much shade from people for using Android, but I don't even care because
no,
it's
dude, even Android phones are fucking super expensive anymore.
oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, I remember when I still have, like, the Note 8, and it cost, like, $1,000 when it came out.
Oh, yeah, I've got an S10, and it was pretty expensive.
Yeah, it's like, I still have the Note 8 because, for one, it still works, it's fine, it's got some screen burn-in problems, but, like, it works perfectly fine, but I mainly have it because I ain't gonna go out and spend because I think the new, S20s or whatever, they were, like if you got the bigger, internal memory card in it or hard drive in it, they were, like, $1,500.
It's insane.
Like, I'm not trying to spend $1,500 on a fucking
Remember
cell phone.
back in the day when you and I, used to work at the fabled Best Buy, that's where I'd always get my phones because we worked there, and back in the day, like, even 5 years ago, it was just like, "Oh, yeah, free phone for signing up," and it's like a brand new iPhone or, Galaxy S7 or 8 or whatever it is.
At least something.
Yeah, and, nowadays, that's, like, unheard of. You have to
Yeah.
lease your phones.
Yeah,
Like,
which is better than the alternative, though.
it is.
'Cause I was literally about to say that, like, at least now, they let you just lease them, and that's the thing, it's no interest at the very least.
Yeah, you
It's
get a
just
better phone and you
yeah, it's
pay
just if it you're gonna but that's the problem, though, if you're gonna get a $1,500 phone over your 2-year contract, that's still like what? Hold on. I want this math to come
Gotta pull the calculator.
yeah, dude. We're gonna go 1,500 divided by 24, that's $62 extra on your bill every month. You know what I mean?
That's
And
insane.
imagine having, like, a four-person family, okay?
Yeah.
Because then it's like, okay, well, Jimmy, Sally, and Tommy all need new phones, so it's gonna cost me on top of the line fees and all this bullshit, it's gonna be $250 just for the phones a month for 2 years.
Yeah.
It's absurd. Granted, though, the phones are great.
Yeah.
Like, anymore, like, the phones like, what you're getting now, I mean, it's like can you remember when we had to use floppy drives, right? Like, floppy
Yeah,
disks,
yeah.
I mean, this was, like, recently to us anyway, like, it was I remember still using my, my Super Nintendo with cartridge game blowing on it, putting it in, and, like,
Yeah.
now, the thing I hold in my pocket here, not only is it a more powerful computer than anything that we had during those times, it's also a global communications device.
Well,
So it's like,
I remember back in the
give and
day, and
take.
I'm sure you heard this, back when I was in, like, math class in, like, elementary school, junior high, high school even, they're like, "Oh, you're not gonna have a calculator with you wherever you go." Dude, I can take a picture of a fucking math problem and have it solved by
Right,
taking a photo of it now. Like, I
right.
can look up anything I want to just by saying, like, "Hey, Google, what's this?"
Yeah,
That,
exactly.
like
They were worried but that just goes to show you how different the times were and how far we've come
yeah.
ever since then because, like, literally I don't know how many. I think every single teacher I had, all through even at the end when I was in there, when cell phones were first coming out and you literally did have a calculator
That
in
was,
your
like,
pocket.
right when we were, like,
Yeah,
junior and senior years of
but
high school.
yeah, it wasn't like they hadn't quite gotten to the touchscreen smartphone phase.
Yeah.
Even then, teachers were still saying that, like, "You're not gonna have a,
You get a
calculator in your
calculator on
pocket."
your freaking cheap iWireless, like, Nokia.
Well, yeah, anymore too, like, even back then, they had the calculator watches you could use,
Yeah,
you know what I
those
mean?
are pretty cool.
Yeah, they are. But anymore, like, speaking of which, the smartwatches, for fuck's sake. Like, let alone, like, you're not gonna have a calculator in your pocket. Now, the little watches you can get are more powerful than that, so it's
I
kinda crazy.
I hate to say it, I actually got an Apple Watch for free back when I had my iPhone. It was pretty cool. For free. I don't think I'd
Yeah.
buy one, but
Last thing when I got, this is completely off topic for, like, the last 5 minutes, but either way, when I got the Note 8, I got a free kinda going with what you were saying, like, before you could get a new phone when you sign up with a new contract or whatever,
yeah,
but for a while, they would at least run deals where you'd get a free item with it,
like a
so
smartwatch or
yeah,
something.
because I remember when the Note 7 came out, like, the ones that were blowing up on everybody, I went and got that. Mine didn't blow up on me, but I went
That's good.
I got a free, 256 gig micro SD card just for buying the phone.
That's fucking crazy.
So then I got to
256
keep
gig.
that when I had to return the phone to get the Note 8 when it came out and stuff.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they were doing that, and you could also choose to get, like, a I don't know, I ended up with 2 of these. I don't know if it happened at the same time, but I have a Gear 360 camera Samsung too that I got for free.
Oh, yeah. I had coworkers that got that.
Yeah, I've never used it, but I got it for free.
That's the one that takes, like, the
But
full 360 photo.
yeah, yeah.
You haven't used that?
Never
I've been
used it.
playing around with that.
I've literally never used it. I forgot I had it until I was just telling the story. But that's the only other cool thing that about it is at least you can get some free stuff every once in a while.
Yeah.
But I don't know, guys. That was completely off topic for a little bit. But what do you guys think about Apple? I'm telling you, do you agree that Apple is they're being slept on a bit? Do you think
Don't sleep
people
on Apple.
they don't sleep on? I'm telling you, their phones might be insanely expensive and not come with everything you need, but they seem to be doing a pretty good job when it comes to the entertainment division here. Okay, like with the big moves like acquiring that Chris Parnell guy and I don't know, the Marty Scorsese stuff is I think Apple's gonna be pretty big here soon as far as the entertainment stuff goes. They're already huge
It's
and
inexpensive too. I mean,
no to them, yeah. Like it that's the thing, like they can spend all the money they want building this stuff up. The problem is just getting people interested in it. But if they keep making plays like this, I'm already on board with it. I think that I'd like they have me convinced based on the shows I've watched and these plays they're still making. And like I said, they can dump all the money they want into the production of this stuff. So as long as they keep dumping that money into talented, people and making good stuff, I think it's gonna be good.
yeah.
I think it's good. What do you guys think? Just let us know down in the comment section below. All right, so our next topic today here, Rick, is gonna be the Ninja Turtles are coming back. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are getting a
Ninja Turtles.
CG movie reboot, and I'll tell you, the only reason I was interested in this at all was because Seth Rogen's production company is actually going to be behind this. And well, Nickelodeon and Seth Rogen. Because Nickelodeon, I don't know if you know, but they had some level of rights to it. I don't know the whole details on it, but they very recently developed like a CG animated series that went on for a couple seasons, if I remember
It's pretty
correctly.
popular.
Yeah, it did pretty well. And then, but I mean, more recently in the movie world, they had the Michael Bay remix of these movies, which those ones, much like the Transformers Michael Bay properties, they weren't okay, let's put it this way. They weren't terrible movies by any means. Like the first Teenage Ninja Mutant Turtles movie by Michael Bay was an okay movie. I just feel like with Michael Bay's work on the Turtles and the Transformers, he never really captured the love and care that the original material had. Like
I'd
with
say.
with Transformers, it was always just how do we make the robots look cool and beat people up, which
Yeah.
they did a good job with that stuff. But when I was watching those movies, aside from the first one, the first
They get
Transformers was
boring
okay.
so quickly.
Yeah, like
It's
and
like
like
stale.
they had it was also just a lot of like the forced humor that Michael Bay had on those movies and the very unneeded, just like sexualization of like Megan Fox, just like and like all the females and like those. Not that I'm not trying to do like a Me Too thing by any means, but it's just like grossly overdone tropes
Yeah, they
exist in that movie. Like
yeah.
literally, I can't remember which one it was, but I remember the Transformers movie started. I didn't know if it started off with it or not, but like they had the girl of the movie like washing a car and
That's
stuff.
what I was just about to say, that scene where
Yeah,
she's, like, doing it in slow-mo,
yeah, it's
like,
like,
come
really?
on,
Is this
yeah.
really what I'm trying to watch some fucking robots fight some
Some
robots,
giant
dude.
fucking
Yeah,
robots from space.
that's what I'm saying, and I felt the same way with the turtle stuff, not so much with, like, the car washing bits, but, like, they were just these big CG turtles that they just made fight people, and that was kind of it.
I
Like,
remember going to that movie at the drive-in, with my girlfriend at the time, and we watched it, and, it was just I remember driving away just like, I didn't really enjoy that.
you saw it at a drive-in?
Yeah, at
I
Starlight.
saw it at a drive-in.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah.
How weird, that was the only time I watched that movie was at a drive-in.
Yeah, that was me too.
Were we there together?
No, I took a Mercedes, and, we went and took an SUV and opened up the back, and it was awesome and had, like,
Alright,
blankets
yeah.
and stuff, and,
That's
no, but
weird.
it must have been right around the same time, though. Let's
Yeah, I
go
mean,
look
yeah,
at
they're
our
only
old
there for so
apartment.
yeah, weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't very impressed with it when it came out by any means. It wasn't a dumpster fire of a movie, but it wasn't
It
it
wasn't
wasn't the Ninja
it wasn't
Turtles.
great.
No, it was just like an okay action flick. Like it was
They looked weird too, and I think that was one of the biggest
they
complaints I remember
did.
people talking about. They just looked strange.
They really
They
did.
tried to, like, modernize it too
Yeah.
much.
They tried to make them look too realistic, like they were
Yeah.
giant, like actual turtles,
Yeah.
which I feel like I understand, but at the same time, like not everything looks good on screen. Just like a lot
Mm.
of like adaptations of like that's why it's called adaptation. Because whatever the original source material was may not really translate well to the visual medium of a movie. That's why a lot of things take liberties like changing the design a little bit of something, like especially with like superhero costumes. A lot of them, like, we never got everyone's always mad about not getting Wolverine in the yellow suit and shit, but it's like, at the same time, I
Would he
don't
wear
know
that?
well, I don't know how even aside from him even wearing it, would it even functionally look good?
What's
A
the point
fucking
of it in that universe? Like,
Yeah, let's say it doesn't lend anything to the character. Him being in costume doesn't change who Wolverine is by
that
any
was always the
means.
comics and the, like,
Yeah.
old cartoon, which was great, by the way. But yeah, like, now it wouldn't have even, like, made sense for him to dress up like that.
Yeah, I mean, there could have been some form of, like, the Wolverine one, for instance, that, like, would work on screen. I just don't know if a 100% representation of that comic costume with the big old fucking, things coming off his eyes and just I don't think in bright ass fucking yellow.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Not very subtle.
I don't know if that would really look all that good,
If you remember
Like,
correctly, though, they actually made a joke about that in one of the X-Men movies.
it was the first one.
Yeah, it was just like, "What do you expect? Yellow
Yeah,
spandex?"
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I remember. Cyclops says it to Wolverine.
Yeah.
Because he was, like, complaining about the fucking leather suit and
Yeah,
shit.
would you prefer yellow spandex?
Yeah, yeah,
That was
exactly.
funny.
Which was, like, a good nod to it, like, by all means, and I mean, they did in the most not the most recent, well, kind of the most, but I remember at the end of X-Men Apocalypse, they had, like, that tease. There was another movie that wasn't very good, but they had that tease where they actually had, like, the core X group in the training room at the very end of the movie, and
Yeah.
they were all wearing, like, blue suits. And they actually looked good, but they weren't like and they had the yellow X's on the front of them,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
but they were not the exact suits from the comics. They adapted them to look better on screen on a real person, and it's
Yeah.
kind of the same concept. Like, they could very well make the Wolverine suit, for instance, work for Wolverine, but I think it for one, it would have to look more like the stealth suit, and then would have to have a lot of the all the more recent adaptations of Wolverine, for instance, he has a little the ears are a little ear eye things are a little more subdued, kinda like Batman's ears that kinda come up.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of, like, depictions of, like, that, and if they were to go with, like, that kinda route to make him almost be wearing kind of like a bat suit, it would work.
Was that
Uh,
the gray and black Wolverine with, like
yeah, the
I think he had
stealth
red
suit.
eyes? Yeah.
Yeah, like like that would work, and the same thing I feel like it's the same thing with the turtles, like, just they don't need to look super real. You know
No.
what I mean? Like, it's
They're talking
yeah,
turtles,
they're
like
talking turtles, like, we get it, it's not like a real turtle. Like, I
Yeah.
don't need you to make it look like a real turtle for me to
No.
care about it. I don't know why when I look this up, it's only bringing up, action figures, but, like, I can't imagine, like, I feel like these things that come out I don't even know what you wanna call these, they come out
Horns?
disguised. Yeah, they're like ear horns, like, it doesn't look this would not work, but
It's not
this
aerodynamic.
one, if they made it more like this, a variation of this could work on screen.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know,
It's subtle.
with the ears being a little bit more subdued and he's just like a tactical suit kinda thing, like, this would work.
If you go down 3 pictures in the middle, yeah, that one right
This one?
there. Yeah, oh, it's small,
It's
so it
super
doesn't really
tiny.
help, but,
But yeah, but it's the same concept. Like this kind of cow, like, would work. It's not as
yeah.
wild on it. You know what I mean? Like I could totally see them doing something like that. And it's still like, yes, it's Wolverine. But in the end, like you said too, does he need to be wearing it? You know what I
The
mean?
only reason I could
Really
imagine is
relevant.
if he's trying to disguise his identity, but, like, I don't know if that
Does he need to though?
exactly, like
Like, does he actually need to? Like
yeah, I mean,
everyone knows who he is.
they're the freaking X-Men,
Like
like,
these things don't look good, dude.
they don't. That was
Watch
my
like a
biggest
YouTube
complaint.
video. But like, let's see. I mean, like, look at the classic ones here, man. The
Yeah.
class, like that is more.
They look like the cartoon
Yeah,
characters.
they look crazy. They don't look like super high detailed and crazy looking, but like, dude, that looks 10 times better.
Yeah, well, that's, like, I
Like
think what
that,
people are used to seeing too, the, like, nostalgia factor.
I mean, it just looks better, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just like it doesn't even.
Do you have another picture of the modern ones?
Yeah, I'm trying to pull one up for a good yeah, like what? I just wanted the picture.
Freaking trailers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look at that. Truthfully speaking, they don't even fucking look like turtles.
They really don't.
I guess
They
like
look like weird, Incredible
like
Hulks with
aliens,
no
dude.
noses,
Yeah,
yeah.
they just look like their facial like design and structure almost looks more like apes. In
Yep,
all honesty, like
true.
as opposed to I don't know, man. But like I said, the main point here, how they look aside, because this is going to be CG anyway, so they could look
The
however
entire movie's gonna be
the
CG?
entire movie is going to be CG. So despite how like they look, I'm more interested in what like Seth Rogen is going to bring to it, and his production company is going to
Yeah,
bring to it more so than anything.
probably be funny.
Well, yeah, and that's one thing that I felt like those other movies were really missing because like
Yeah,
they're funny dudes, man.
if
Like
you watch the old, like, '80s, Ninja Turtles movies or '90s or whatever it was, like, it's almost like a comedy.
they are
Yeah,
all of them, and like
got
they
all kinds
have
of
like
jokes and shit.
yeah, and they have comics where they're a lot more serious and stuff. But at the same time, like those Michael Bay movies, they weren't serious movies at
Mm.
all. But like no one was like again the kind of humor they were using was just like tropey, fucking just annoying. Just I don't know, just
You
bang your
notice
head
a
against the
pattern
wall
with Michael
humor.
Bay?
Yeah, and, like, with these big franchise movies, because like, he can make good movies, like, 13 Hours is an awesome movie.
Yeah,
Like, he's made a ton of movies that are, like, actually really, really good. Even, like, Bad Boys 2 was amazing. I love Bad Boys 2.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, Michael Bay is a good director. There's nothing like I just don't think the sensibilities he brought to the Transformers franchise and the Ninja Turtle franchise, they just didn't fit well. And I feel like it was someone this is what it really boils down to. It was someone who this is all just hearsay though. This is not it's just it seemed like someone who knew nothing about the properties and just went at it.
Yeah,
You
just
know what
like,
I
"Let me
mean?
make a movie."
Yeah, like we're like I know like yeah the turtles are supposed to be funny, so let's throw in some stupid ass jokes here. The Transformers, they're I don't know anything about them, so I'm just gonna make them say some weird shit, you know,
Yeah.
like and just have really because I remember, dude, in Transformers 2, it was they had a scene towards like the end where like one of them's balls, like he has like wrecking balls, and they staged the shot so it looked like it was testicles, and I'm just like it was
Yeah.
supposed to be like funny, and I was just like why? Like, and that was one of many, but that was like one I just remember like distinctly checking out after that. Like, just like
Yeah.
I'm just like,
Checking out.
I'm done with this shit. I don't want to see this anymore. But again, so yes, I'm actually more interested with the Seth Rogen thing as far as them saying it's gonna be a CG movie reboot and with Nickelodeon being involved as well, is if they're gonna go the like if it's gonna be the same like in the same universe that their Nickelodeon Turtles TV show was, and it's gonna be that same kind of design with the CG, or if they're gonna update it and it be its own thing, and then maybe I don't know, make them more realistic, but not like the Michael Bay realistic looking things.
Yeah.
Like just make them like higher res textures and like kind of like World of Warcraft does with the cinematic trailers. Like
Yeah, yeah.
they look fucking amazing, and it's just like perfect looking stuff. But the game doesn't look really anything like that. It's kind of the same
No.
concept. I wonder if they're gonna do this. I'm curious about that, and I'm hoping that the sensibilities of Seth Rogen and the they also have the producer of, like, Gravity Falls is connecting. I know I never watched that show, but it's very popular. So, he's obviously a talented guy 'cause
Yeah.
he's who's directing it. So, I'm hoping that the combination of these guys working on it, their sensibilities can actually make, like, a good Turtles movie because the Turtles are cool, they're fun,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
So, I hope it works out, But, I don't know. What do you guys think? Are you excited about, the new Turtles movie in general? Are you hoping that it's, more on the funny side, but less Michael Bay humor? Or do you want it to be, more, I don't know, more of the same from that Nickelodeon TV show? Or are you hoping they update it a bit more and, give it some better CG, sensibilities and things like that? Whatever it is, just let us know down in the comment section below. All right, so our next topic today is going to be some more bad news for the moviegoers out there. At least anyone who is looking forward to seeing Milan possibly in July. Because news has came out that it too, following Tenet's footsteps here, is being pushed back to August 21st. Primarily just because the theaters aren't open yet. So it can't really, it's kind of hard to go see a movie if all your theaters are closed. And Rick, when it comes to getting these movies out, do you think it's a better move for them to be pushed? I know they might not have a choice with a lot of people. Like I said, a lot of these theaters just aren't even open right now. But do you think it's at least even realistic that a lot of these movies are even going to be coming out in
Uh,
2020 at this point, let alone in the summer?
it's just so hard to say with everything going on. I mean, it seems like every day you turn on the news, things get worse. So to me, thinking about it, there's a probability that it could be pushed back even farther than that. So
Right. I remember a time when we thought when not we, but like a lot of people in the entertainment community thought that like July was like the not even not being an optimist, just it's gonna happen in July.
yeah,
Like
things will
everything's
be
gonna come
over
back in
and
July,
yeah,
And like now,
getting even worse.
it doesn't seem to be the case. Because kind of going along with um, Milan pushing this back, Los Angeles is coming from Deadline as well. They're looking at considering citations for anybody not wearing a mask. So however you feel about wearing a mask, not wearing a mask at all, you should definitely wear a mask, but I'm not gonna get
Definitely.
into that by any means. But that aside, the with them putting out these mandates and to some capacity and actually, like, doing, enforcing it from, a government level like this, it's just going to make it harder for, like, the movie theaters and, like, just businesses in general to even get people to the point of like wanting to return, feeling safe to return, right? Because like
Yeah,
as the numbers continue to rise, which is why you should wear a mask,
definitely.
um, like more and more people aren't like I'm not gonna be rushing out, even if Tenant was opening like next week.
Yeah. I would be
I'd
honestly
be
afraid.
extremely hesitant.
Yeah.
Like even at this point now, like in the current climate, like we said, with the numbers rising, I don't know if I wanna go out and, like, sit in a room with a bunch
A
of people.
room with a bunch of people closed
Yeah,
in.
even if they're enforcing masks.
Yeah.
It's like because
The germs, I
the
mean.
mask can only do so much, like, everyone knows.
Yeah.
It's I don't need to get into, like, teaching people how masks work and everything, but, like, they help prevent it from you, but primarily it helps you keep, like, everyone around you safe
Yeah,
in
it's
addition to
just
keeping you safe.
keeps your
'Cause
germs off of
right.
other people and keeps you from getting other people's
Yeah.
germs.
And, like, that's kind of the thing, like, with, like, a big place, like, obviously, Los Angeles and New York being probably the biggest 2 places for, movies in general, them getting to a point now where they're gonna have to be, like, mandating people from a government level, like I said, that's not gonna be, like, helping, anyone's will to are wanting this to get back to the theaters, in my opinion. So we could very well see a lot of these movies
Push back even
push
farther.
back even farther. If
Well,
not, like I don't even know if movies are going to come out this year at this point.
the thing is
Right.
too, where we live here in Cincinnati, I just heard on July 9th they're going to start mandating where you can get up to a $25 fine if you're not wearing a mask in a public space. And I don't know, it's just wear the mask. Just
Right.
wear it.
Well, that's the thing, and it is kind of a shame that somehow this like turned into a political issue. Just like I don't know. I've always felt that like
Look at it from a health
well, that's what I'm saying.
standpoint.
I've always thought that human rights and health those aren't political issues. They're like if people are making there's a why people say there's a difference between right and wrong, right?
Yeah.
Like human rights is not political. Like health and safety is not political.
No.
We make it political because people are fucking ignorant. Like,
Yeah.
no offense. I'm not like calling any particular person or party out because I know people on both sides of any camp and upside down and at the bottom who say stupid shit. Like it's
Oh,
not
yeah,
just
yeah.
one side that's stupid.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's not. Like, but I don't know, like things like that. Like, is that what really honestly with the mask stuff that bothers me is like prior to it being a you know not a law, but like government mandated to some capacity where they're going to start like giving you citations, for instance, right? I've always considered like if you don't want to wear a mask, then fine. But you can't like there's all these videos of people like getting like shitty and physical with people who like a store owner who is requiring masks and like the person's not wearing a mask and they get all shitty
And they freak out.
and like get physical with this person because they're requiring their patrons to wear a mask and it's like if you don't want to wear a mask that's on you but they don't have to serve you then like that's on them
That's
like
their right to do
yeah
that.
like don't it's on just like it's on you and you're perfectly cool at least if your government isn't forcing it upon you in like these situations if you can choose not to wear a mask, then someone can choose not to serve you.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, it's just the bottom line. Like, that's the thing that always gets me with a bunch of people who are saying it just makes me laugh because it's like just completely untrue. Like how it's like infringing on your rights and your freedom and stuff, and it's like it's
Yeah.
not because like you can just not wear the mask and then not go to Starbucks.
Exactly.
It's like that's it. Like if you don't want to wear the mask, then you can't go to Starbucks. Like that's it. Like you can go somewhere else, or you can just put on the mask for 5 minutes, go get your fucking Starbucks, and then stop bothering everybody.
Yeah, stop
That's
making
it.
it an issue. Just
Like
be a good, decent person.
I know. And then like the other thing are like people with like the fake cards that say like you like health problem, health exemption, like from wearing the mask, like blah blah. Like I can't breathe with the mask on. The doctor who delivered your dumbass spent probably 8 hours wearing the very same fucking mask. So you
Yeah.
can't wear a mask for 20 minutes into a store? Like,
People do anything
you see
just to
the
start
logic
problems
flaws there,
nowadays.
man? It just bothers me.
Yeah,
It's not to get into the because I don't care if you don't wanna wear a mask, that's perfectly fine, like, ain't bothering me none. Like, you should wear one if you're going out in public, though.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the only thing, like that's the thing. I feel like no one wants to level with people and just say like, no one wants to wear the mask, guys. Like everyone knows they're uncomfortable. Everyone knows like I gotta wear. I wear glasses, so when I wear the mask, it makes my shit fog up half the time.
Every
Like
time.
I gotta like make sure I'm breathing, like kind of pointing it down. Like
My
it's a first
job
world fucking problem, though. Who
my
cares?
job literally won't let you in the building unless you're wearing a mask. We can get written up for not having our mask on. Like,
Yeah,
and
unless
I don't look at it as I'm being oppressed. I look at it as like I'm helping myself and other people because that's the right thing to do. And
exactly. Here's the thing, it's not hurting anybody. Putting on the mask isn't actually hurting anybody. But you not wearing a mask has the potential to hurt you and others.
putting on the mask.
There's literally I mean, there's too many facts to support. Like it's like it's you don't even need to look at research to understand that. Just put the mask on and like try breathing through it. If you're people are complaining they're having trouble breathing with it on, it's working. That's the point.
Yeah, imagine
Like,
how much trouble
that's
you'd
the
have
point.
breathing if you didn't have it on and contracted it.
Well, no, like you know what I'm saying though. It's like if you put the mask on and it's giving you issues breathing, then you know the mask is doing its job of you not spreading your fucking germs everywhere, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's like it's like they don't realize they, like, kinda prove their own, like, kind of points wrong, like, to
Yeah.
some capacity, because it's like, it's kind of the goal, like, it's not gonna smother you, like, no one's trying to kill you with the mask, it's
It's
not
not
gonna impair your
oppression.
breathing that way, yeah, like, it's just there to limit shit. I know this is completely off topic, but it is kind of on topic just because, like I said, Los Angeles here is looking at literally giving people citations. In Cincinnati here, they literally already are gonna be giving people citations on July 9th if you're not wearing a mask in public.
I think it's in the city of Cincinnati.
Yeah, like, in the city limits. But, like, point being is it affects the movies is, like, it just affects the theaters and them opening in general, right? Because like, it's like in any small business, really. Because like, less and less people are gonna feel comfortable going back out. Like, especially if you don't feel less comfortable, then I don't know, you kinda got other problems, really. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like you should have some level of discomfort, like, at some degree. Like, because I mean, it's not fake news for one. Like, it's real stuff. So, I don't know. Because I don't know about you, and I always think about it too, just as someone who has kids, like, you may not care about you getting it, and you might think you're gonna be fine, which, like, you may be, but you may not be too.
Yeah.
But in the end, like, do you wanna get a kid sick? Like, just because you didn't wanna wear it? Even if it's not your kid, it just helps if you have your own kids
My
to really
parents
know.
have even my parents have, like, COPD and immune disorders and that sort of stuff, and I do it for them, you
Right.
know?
That's the thing, and it's not even a I don't know, it just it
It
bothers me because it's such
bothers
a
me.
non-issue that somehow is some huge political issue.
Yeah,
And it's like,
exactly.
it's not, it's a non-issue. No one should even be talking about
Think of it from a
it.
scientific healthcare standpoint,
It
not your government.
exactly, and it blows my mind too because, like, there's, like, in South Korea, they always wear 'em.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
pre-COVID, they just wear 'em.
yeah.
Like, in Japan,
That's
they wear them all the time.
China, yeah,
In China, like, it's not like dude, they just wear them because like, they know people get sick a lot.
yeah,
Like, it just is they have very, very dense populated areas, so they wanna wear the mask for protection. I mean, it just
exactly.
is what it is. It's protecting you and it's protecting others. It's not it just blows my mind, man. But anyway, yeah, so Mulan's getting pushed back.
Back to the subject.
Yeah, so Mulan and Tenet are coming out on the supposedly on August 21st.
We'll see
That
about
was our mask PSA, guys, so that's the only one you
wear a
get.
mask.
Yeah, so do that. And, how did you actually feel about the Mulan trailer, though? Did you think it
I
was
saw it. It looks good. It's looks intense. You know, it's a kind of weird. Disney's doing all this stuff nowadays where they've got like literal live action versions of a lot of their classic movies, and um, it's an interesting movie to do in live action. I think it'll be good. I was never a huge Mulan fan, but the trailer looked decent.
the trailer looked pretty good. I wish like, there's things in it it's kind of the thing that, like, we were talking about with the Ninja Turtles and them being, like, realistic. And, like, how it's like, "Well, they're giant turtles, dude. They're giant talking, walking turtles. Like,
Yeah,
they don't need like, we get it. Like, they don't I don't need them to be, like, photo real. Like, they're not real."
yeah,
But, like, they changed the dragon in Mulan. I forget his name, but Eddie Murphy played him in the and
yeah.
he did the voice. But they replaced the dragon in, like, this live action movie with a phoenix instead, which is just I'm just sitting it kinda bothered me because even when you watch the trailer, you see some, like the bad guy sorcerer witch person, like, doing some, like, crazy like, doing some magical stuff, right? Some not real looking things. So I don't know why, like, a talking dragon is like
Would be out of the question.
yeah, like,
Like
what's
a phoenix is any more realistic?
yeah, exactly, and it's like, but it's a phoenix, and I get it maybe not doing, like, Eddie Murphy cracking jokes as a talking dragon, that might not work, like, kinda like we were talking about before, like, some things in an adaptation won't work,
Yeah.
but it could have still just been a tiny little dragon who doesn't talk. Maybe they just wanted to completely avoid it because I feel like if they had the
Could have been a
dragon
freaking lizard. Like,
well, if they have the dragon though, and it's not Eddie Murphy or it's not someone cracking jokes like it did in not the comic, but in the cartoon, I feel like you get a whole group of people who are just hating on the movie because they changed the dragon.
yeah,
So maybe it probably was just something they were like, you know what, let's just not do the dragon and we'll just do a phoenix instead.
screw the
Like
dragon.
whatever. Like 'cause that way, it's like you can only get mad about it not being there as opposed to changing it, right?
Yeah.
I guess that's the only way I could really put any sort of logic to it. But I don't know. But anyway, what do you guys think? Like, do you think it's a good idea? Well, actually, not a good idea. Do you think that the masks, kind of being mandated in a lot of places now are going to affect moviegoers even more now? Like, just the fact that they have to wear a mask and the numbers are now rising. Do you think that's going to affect even if these movies do open on August 21st? Like, how realistic is it that they're actually going to have any sort of attendance that would actually kind of make it even worth the studios to even put these movies out? Because like I didn't really say, but like if they're limiting people going to the theater anyway, and like let's say you can only have in a 100-person theater, let's say at most 50% of people. With the numbers still rising and now everyone having to wear a mask, like how realistic do you think it's really going to be that you're going to get those full 50% numbers actually going in there? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I don't know. So just let me know down in the comment section below let me know if you're even gonna go. If this opened on August 21st, if this and Tenant were there, would you go? Or would you be like, nah, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, so our final topic here today on this little bit of a light news week. Wanted to end it off with something, I don't know, kind of exciting. At least I think it's a little bit exciting. And that's Beavis and Butthead is coming back. A revival with Mike Judge is coming to Comedy Central. And I don't know about you, Rick, but this is, I feel like this could go one of two ways. It could be great, or it could obviously also be just absolutely terrible. I don't think
True.
there might be a little bit of a middle ground in there. Sure. I
Mike
mean,
Judge is great.
yeah, the fact that Mike Judge is coming back, I mean, that's kind of what I don't know, that's the only thing that gives me hope that it's probably gonna be good. Like,
Yeah.
at least I would hope it's gonna be good.
Well, it's gonna be, like, modernized too, I would imagine, and, like, they'll be
Yeah.
talking about stuff that's currently going on, you know?
Right, and that's what he goes on to say in the article. This is on Deadline for anybody who wants to know, but he goes on to say, like, it's, like, a great time for it to come out right now, just, like, with everything that's going on in the world, and just having, like, these 2 kinda I could literally I'd love to see these 2 guys commentating on, like, half the shit we were just talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
I'd love to get their takes on it, and just see where that goes. So, I mean, and he makes the comment that, like, there's gonna be relatable and meta themes that are relatable to both new and old fans, Gen X parents and their Gen Z kids.
yeah.
So, I mean, obviously they
Well, the Gen X, that's, like, where it started,
right. And that's
so
the thing, like they obviously have to have like some good idea and concept. I feel like to want to bring it back, after so long. Because I remember I used to love watching this when I was a kid.
Oh, me too.
Like it was just great. I mean, the only thing is I don't know if they're going to be able to do a lot of like them sitting there watching like MTV. Like
That doesn't really exist
yeah, they can't really do that anymore.
YouTube.
I'm curious what they're yeah. I'm wondering if they could even really do any of that stuff just with like the DMCA and like licensing anymore. Like, are they even going to be able to sit there and watch like a music video
Yeah.
on here anymore? Because like you can't, I can't even like live stream with a song playing like anymore. Nobody can because of
Yeah.
the DMCA stuff. So it's like, what are they going to be able to? Well, it's like people getting copyright claims on their YouTube videos for putting up a picture of something, like a picture of it, like a screenshot of a still image from your trailer will get you a copyright claim nowadays. It's like,
Kinda
well,
sucks.
yeah. So what are they going to be able to do? Because like that's kind of like they were almost like pioneers of React content to some degree.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
you know
really,
what I mean?
like, early '90s,
Yeah, they were just sitting there watching their MTV music videos, and
giving their
just,
opinions
yeah,
and
doing their thing. Like, so I don't know. I'm kind of curious as to like what they're going to do because then they kind of branched out and did other things like when like in Do America. Like, they didn't just sit on the couch, but
no.
I always felt like when anybody, at least in my circle, when anybody thinks of Beavis and Butthead, I just think of them sitting there on the couch.
Yeah, just
Like, I wish it would be really cool because the article actually goes on to mention that, like, it's connected to, like, the Daria world and everything, and I actually really like Daria.
Daria was great.
Daria was a great show.
Yeah, I used to watch, like,
So I would really like for them to do, like, more of a crossover, like, bring Daria back too, and Beavis and Butthead,
I
but
didn't know they exist in the same universe.
yeah. Yeah, no, they were like they were featured in each other's shows like multiple times.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Mhm.
See, I was a huge fan, and I know you know this, of King of the Hill by Mike Judge and, like, Office
Here, I'll tell
Space.
you what,
I'll tell you what, Bobby.
Bobby.
What
Yeah, I
a
love
jackass.
King of the Hill's great, dude.
Yeah,
That was
and,
fantastic.
well, I just that's what got me started with Mike Judge, and I don't think there's really much that he's done that I don't like. I
Oh,
like
yeah,
his sense
yeah.
of humor.
Well, I mean, in Silicon Valley, he was behind that too, and, like,
Yeah,
Silicon Valley's great.
Gabe
I
was in
love
that.
Silicon Valley. Like, I'm 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 excited to see these 2 guys come back, and like I said, I really wanna see their commentary on today's world. I
Right.
wonder how much they're gonna, like, touch on, like, that
Probably a
kinda
lot on,
stuff.
like, the political
Like,
climate.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot that, like, because that's the thing, that's kind of the beauty of Beavis and Butthead is, like, at least, like, nowadays, they could make light of a lot of serious things, and,
Yeah.
like, you would not take it seriously at all because in the end, these 2 dudes never really have a they're not left or right.
No, no.
They're very agnostic to the situation, and it's like kinda like a lot of people, really. It's like, "Is it affecting me? No, so it's fine." That's kinda how they are. Like, they'll just watch from afar and just,
That's how I am.
uh, uh,
Yeah, just
like,
kinda cackle on it.
yeah. So, like, I don't know. And he's gonna come back and be doing the voices too, so, I mean, it's all I might I don't know. I'm when I first saw it, I was like, "Okay, cool. They're gonna bring it back, whatever." But because there's a lot like, almost every other show anymore is kind of having a revival to some capacity. But this is one that I feel like could actually probably work, even though I wasn't very, like wasn't super excited about it when it came out, but as I've been sitting here talking about it with you, I don't know, like, I actually am kind of I'm curious.
Well, like, look at South Park, what they do. They, touch on everything in popular culture nowadays, and
Well, it's been going on forever
I
too.
think I'd prefer watching Beavis and Butthead over South Park personally. That's just me, but
I mean, that's the thing, like, there's so much South Park material out there, like, I stopped watching South Park forever ago, and
oh, yeah.
I don't have like, they have their core episodes that are, like, classics, like the WoW like, the Lord of the Rings one with the porno one. You
Or
remember
the
that
one
one?
where they were, like, anime
Yeah, that
characters.
dude, I love that episode. That
Yeah.
is a fantastic episode. Then, like, the World of Warcraft episode with the dude, like, mom giving the bucket and, like, it's just, like, shitting it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? All that like, they got all the Michael Jackson ones, like, I remember all those, and they're
There were
all
some
great.
very funny
Yeah, they
episodes.
had some great stuff. I haven't watched it in years, so, like but I have heard from people who, like, have kept up with it, like, they still got it to some capacity,
Yeah,
like, and
yeah.
they're
I
still
watched
going.
it recently
Right.
just in quarantine, and it was actually pretty funny.
The Chris Hansen ones were good,
Yeah.
like, so, like
I liked when the aliens put the satellite in Cartman's ass. I
yeah.
think that was literally, like, the first episode, but
Yeah.
yeah, just stupid shit like
Yeah,
that.
it's stupid shit. That's what so I hope it works out, like, honestly, because I feel like this was one property too that, like, is very well known, but it didn't have, like, the kinda legs that, like, King of the Hill did
Yeah,
or,
that was like
South Park, has been going on for years, or even Family Guy, like, that stuff stuck around forever. And Beavis and Butthead, that'd be my only kind of skepticism is they kinda did fall out of, like, the pop culture spotlight.
at the same
You know?
time though, like King of the Hill didn't have movies, or
Not just so much movies, but, like, if you look at, like, Family Guy and South Park, like, they've just been going on for 10 plus years at this point.
yeah.
And, like, Beavis and Butthead, it didn't stick around for that long.
Well, like you said, I
Yeah.
think, now's the right time to do it. So,
If they're gonna bring it back, I do think now's a good time to do it for
well,
sure.
yeah. Yeah. Do
But, yeah, I mean,
you think they'll wear masks?
I would hope so. It depends on when it comes out.
Yeah.
Like, if it comes out in a like, I don't know when the if it comes out next year, it depends on
What's going on
like,
at the
what's going
time?
on, like,
Yeah.
is masks, like, still gonna be, like, a big of a problem, quote, unquote, or a thing that we'll say? Like, is that still gonna be a thing? Like, I don't know. That's what I was saying, like, I'd kinda like to see them it's too bad it's not on right now because, like, I would like to see their commentary on how everything is going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
Like, I think that would actually be, like, pretty humorous. And satire is always good. Like, satire is, like, making light of a situation, a real world situation. That's why South Park is as successful as it is.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah,
know what
for
I mean?
sure.
It's like making fun of, like, serious things, like, I don't know, this is the root of all comedy, really. I just feel like they could do it good. They could
Oh,
do it
for sure.
good, you know what I mean? So I'm excited to see it back, but the question is, what do you guys think? Do you think this is a good time for Beavis and Butthead to come back? Did you even watch I'm sure there's a lot of people watching this right now who have no idea what Beavis and Butthead even is.
Do some
So,
research.
yeah, do some I don't even know if I could really recommend it to, like, the youth these days. I don't
Yeah.
think they even understand it. That's, like, the biggest problem with, like, shows that rely on pop culture, because like,
It had so
that's
much to do with
yeah,
things that
that's why I always like, even songs or movies and TV shows that heavily rely on, like, the time frame they're in. like, it's like a kid right now going to watch Back to the Future.
Yeah, they
Like, that's
wouldn't
just
get it.
like it'd be they might get it, and they might think it's funny, but there's gonna be so much, like, little things in there that they just don't even know what the hell it is, you know? Like we said with MTV, like, these dudes just sat around watching music videos on, like, their TV all day, like, I don't even think you can do that anymore.
Yeah,
I don't like, there's no channel, I think, that's just on there that's just playing music videos anymore. MTV hasn't been doing that for years,
yeah.
you know? So, I don't know. But, what do you guys think? Just let us know in the comment section below if you're excited, that Beavis and Butthead is coming back. Um, I'm excited for it because I'm happy Mike Judge's coming back. So if you're in the same boat, just let us know down in the comment section below. But that's gonna do it for us today, guys. Just remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you like this video. And Rick, where can everybody find you online?
It's gonna be my name down there at Sir Rick Metz. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, whatever.
And you can follow me simply at Sir Rob Bifo. I'm on Instagram as well. Sorry, choked on
Is that
something
a
there.
coronavirus cough?
Yep. No, I don't know what that was. I think I choked on my water. Oh God. Anyways, yeah. So like, comment, subscribe. We just recently did a statue review for a Vegeta statue that I have. It was really, I thought it was pretty good. It's a great looking piece. So go take a look at that. We got another episode coming out, obviously next Monday at 8 a.m. But yeah, I guess that'll do it for us today. Rick, you got anything else to add? Am I missing anything?
Happy 4th of July.
Yeah, happy 4th. The 4th will be passed by the time this comes up, but
Yep.
happy 4th of July. Stay safe, everybody. Again, if you don't want to wear your mask, it's fine. But if someone wants you to wear one, then you can just wear it. And it's a simple request, right? You know? You with me on that, Rick?
I'm with
I mean,
you.
is that too much to ask? Like, it's like when your parents ask you to wash the dishes. You don't want to wash the fucking dishes,
It's
but
like
you're gonna do it.
it's like Bane said. Look at it this way.
Nobody cared who I was until I put on that.
It's exactly right. It's exactly right.
People
Take
will
it
care
from
about
Bane.
you when you do that.
Yeah, take it from Bane. You're a lot more interesting. Here's another thing too about the mask. All right, I know there's like a whole thing where like men think it's like not masculine to wear a mask. All right, all that shit. You know what? If you wear the mask, no one knows who the fuck you are.
You know what's
See, that happens.
masculine? Being healthy.
That's
Caring
true.
about people.
That's true. But seriously, if you're worried about fucking being judged or something or looking weak for wearing a mask, no one knows who you are under the mask, dude. No one knows. You get full anonymity. Like you're being healthy and anonymous at the same time. It is what it is. Just wear the mask.
Wear
But
the
until
mask.
next time, guys, take care.